Alrighty, if you're watching this video and you are either an accountant, bookkeeper, or CFO, I'm going to show you guys exactly how you can make an extra $32,000 in 2 weeks without onboarding any new clients. And I know you're probably thinking, how the heck do you do that? Because that's nearly impossible, right? Well, just for example here, let me show you exactly how we scaled our client, Ashia, to $29,000 in 15 days. This was actually $32,000 in 15 days. We just had a different, another $3,000 in Stripe. But just to show you guys that we are legit, I'll just hit a refresh for you guys. So we did $29,000 from the 16th to 31st, which is 15 days. 16th to the 23rd, which is 7 days, we did 20K in cash collected. So literally, I'm going to show you guys exactly how you can do the exact same in 2 weeks without onboarding any new clients. So who is this for? If you are either an accountant, bookkeeper, CFO, who essentially just feels overwhelmed with client work, but you want to increase your income without taking on new clients or hiring additional staff, this video is for you. You value your time outside of client work, meaning like you would like to spend more time with family, you want to hang out with friends, you want to enjoy vacations. You prefer to maintain a small, manageable client roster, right? Like most accountants, if you don't want to have a big team, because if you have a big team, or if you want more clients, essentially, you're gonna have to have a bigger team, meaning you have to manage more staff, which is a lot of work. You don't want to have that stress on you, so you rather have a boutique firm with a small number of clients. You're already tired of you already tried hiring part-time staff, either interns or VA, somebody overseas, either in the Philippines, etc. But like you're just frustrated with that, right? You don't want to keep doing that. You're tired of the ongoing cycle of client work and want a smarter way to grow. And the idea of marketing to get business doesn't appeal to you. Like essentially, when you're an accountant, bookkeeper, CFO, most people are used to, referrals, word of mouth, etc., going to networking events. So you don't want to throw all your time into marketing. If that's you, this video is for you. And then obviously you have long hours and you're drained. You want to have a better work-life balance. So if this is you, let me show you guys exactly how we're going to make you an extra $30,000 in 2 weeks without onboarding any new clients. So what is the core concept? The reality is you can make an extra $32,000 in cash without onboarding any new clients simply by selling information. This information is either you giving your expertise to somebody else to do it themselves, or you do it with them via workshop in this situation. So while selling info might seem more complex than acquiring new clients, it offers a scalable, less time-intensive way to boost your income. And my mission in this video is to help accountants master the art of selling info, and here's how I can support you. So, credibility. My name is Abe. I studied science in college. Info is basically the info market in terms of marketing to people online to sell your knowledge at scale. It's a science because the market, which is essentially the database of potential customers, changes constantly. You have to test and iterate just like the scientific method. I recently scaled Ashia, a New York to Dubai-based accountant, to an extra $30,000 in hardcore cash in 2 weeks without onboarding any new clients. And it was actually so much that it was so easy and feasible to her, right? We did $30,000 in 2 weeks, which is potentially 2 months worth of client work. That she actually wanted to do another launch, right? She sent us this message. She said, "Good morning, team. Just want to take a moment. Thank you all for expertise. We pulled off a 30K launch in just 2 weeks. Not too shabby for the first time around. I've been sitting on some new ideas and I'm excited about and would love to share. After the 5-day workshop wraps, I'm thinking about launching a top tier men cohort for July 1st and also turning my live workshop content into a course. Would love to hop on a Zoom call June 6th to debrief and map out our next steps. Appreciate y'all so much." Right? So we did $30,000 in 2 weeks. And it was just, blew her mind that she wanted to do another launch. This launch was essentially just for women entrepreneurs and to give them information. And now she just wants to do it for men. Yeah, so she even wanted to launch specifically just for men. And obviously, I bet you're asking, like, how do you do this without any new clients? Like, it doesn't make sense. Traditionally in the accounting world, right, the only way you're going to make more money is if you get more clients. But that's not necessarily the case, right? We have this whole new wave of business where essentially clients are, or the market will buy stuff online. That's just the world we live in now. So the first concept you need to understand is you'll never achieve the results you want unless you sell information. And the reason why this is the case is because selling knowledge, your expertise, is scalable. You're capable of getting the said prospect from point A to, like in an accountant case, a prospect comes to you and they're at point A and they want to get to point B. Those 2 points are, one, they don't know how to manage their finances, they need to do their taxes, they want to save on taxes, and you in your business is the vehicle that's going to get them to B, right? You're going to give them You're going to save them more on taxes. You're going to manage their finances so they don't have to stress about it, etc. That's point B, right? So you are the vehicle. But if you just sell the knowledge, meaning they implement themselves or you do it with them together, then it's a cheaper and better way for you to get them from point A to point B. And you're going to make more money from it. So you have to understand these metrics, right? This is a typical done for you retainer for accountants. Monthly clients, most accountants will have an average of 8 clients, meaning you're making around $8,000 a month. Let's just say you charge $1,000 a month per client. You're working 22 and a half hours a week during the off season. Tax season, you're probably closer working towards 40 hours because now you have tax prep to do. Meaning if you divide that up in the hours, you're making $66 an hour, and the scalability of that is pretty like low, right? Because you add one client into the box, that's an additional 10 hours. Imagine that during tax season. So in order for you to make more money, therefore, and also have the freedom, even though you make more money, right? You hire staff or, you do the work all by yourself, even though you're making more money, your freedom's not going to be there because now you have more work to do. You know what I mean? So the free time impact is low because there's always going to be client demand. But if you switch over to the method that we use to scale Ashia from $0 to $32,000 in cash collected outside of her own clients that she already has, right? You can make way more money with a lot more freedom. If you just bring in 30 students plus your normal 8 retainers you have, right? If average, I'm just saying average. Some people have more, some people have less, right? You're going to make 30K with 30 students plus the $8,000 a month that you're already making from retainer clients. That's $38,000 in your pocket, 30 extra $1,000 that you didn't have in the first place. And imagine if you do 2 of these launches a month, that's 60K plus the other 8,000, $68,000, right? And the hours you work is just going to be 40 because in order for you to teach the students that the knowledge that they need to implement this stuff by themselves, it's going to be about 10 hours worth of work. So then your average hourly income is going to go from $66 to $380 an hour. And the scalability of that is really, really good because once you onboard a new student rather than an actual client, you're just gaining an extra $1,000. You're not getting no extra hours of getting put to work because you're teaching these people as a group, as a whole. Meaning you have 30 students, meaning you teach them all at once, right? For Ashia, we did a 5-day paid workshop where she taught 30 students all at once. Meaning outside of those 10 hours, it doesn't matter how many new clients she bring in, how many more students she bring in. She was already going to make the same amount without spending as much time because they're all getting taught in one group, one cohort, right? So the free time impact is scalable, like this is super scalable. It's like really high. You basically are bringing in students for more money without spending your time like a normal client. So by moving from a done for you, meaning a traditional accounting role, to a done with you or do it yourself workshop, you separate earnings from hours. You're teaching once and it's cutting the onboarding hassle and it slashes the weekly workload and multiplies revenue. And then you deliver a far more scalable, freedom-focused business model for yourself. So that's the thing you need to understand. That's the first concept. Second concept is more eyeballs equates to more sales. Why? Because relying only on people you know to grow your business plateaus your business. Think about your situation right now, whether you do paid ads or not. Majority of accountants rely on referrals or word of mouth, and they want to keep their business small because everyone knows that you cannot scale unless you hire more staff or you just take on the stress. You're not going to have that freedom. So that's why most people stay to the, word of mouth and referrals because they just don't need to work more. They want to keep their stress levels down. But smart business owners gain eyeballs in 2 ways. You can either do paid ads or you can do free organic content on social platforms. But most people always choose the first option because the second is harder to grow. It takes more time and effort to grow a social presence, an organic presence to get lots of followers. And they do the 1% rule, 1% of your audience is going to buy. So you would have to really, really, really scale your organic to even get the chance to make a good profit off of that. So that's obviously not the best option. The best option is to do paid ads. And these methods help more people see what you're selling. Because think about this example. This is a girl holding up a fish net. So take, for example, this photo. The bigger your net, the more fish you're going to catch. So when lots of people see your product or service, you can sell to many all at once, meaning the opportunity to make more money increases drastically. You just get in front of people's eyes. That's what paid ads for. And if you think that you have to spend a ton on marketing, it just depends on how good your marketing is. Like 90% of the results of a creative, an ad, is all creative. Like 90% of the results is all creative. It literally depends on the ad itself. And when we ran this campaign for Ashia, we only spent $560, right? And we made $32,000. We got in front of 6,000 eyeballs, 9,300 impressions, 6,000 people reached, right? That's all you need. And we did $20,000 in 7 days. In 15 days, we did 32,000. So you just need to get in front of people's eyes, right? The third concept is your ability to track data and recycle information back to marketing and sales completely controls your ability to make more money. And the reason why this is the case is because imagine you're trying to figure out what's working in your business or what to put into your ads, your email copy, your funnel copy, etc. Instead of just guessing, you can use the data that you really know, like, okay, this works. It's going to get us from point A to point B, $0 to $32,000 in cash. You're obviously going to rely on the data because it's statistically proven. So here's how it helps. You'll see what's working and what's not in your advertising and sales. You're going to do ads. You're going to, do the different email copy, the copy inside of your funnels, etc. And it allows you to save money on things that aren't working. So if you know you launch a campaign and it's not getting you the results that you want, well, what do? You change it, right? And you keep testing and iterating until it works. This is the scientific method. This is literally what I studied in college a majority of the time. Everyone studied this in middle school, high school, some people in college, all right? The scientific method, you ask a question, you do the research, you construct a hypothesis, you test it. Is it working? Yes or no? If it's not working, you troubleshoot the experiment, meaning you change the different things that you need to do to get the result that you want to get. And if it works, then you analyze the data and draw conclusions. Now you have results, and then you communicate those results. So in the sense of business, when you're asking a question, okay, what problem are you trying to solve? Then you need to understand the customer. Who are you selling to? Who wants this problem solved for their situation? Then you construct a hypothesis, which in business is just your offer. And then you test it with an experiment. Those experiments are your different ad creatives, the different funnel that you're going to use, the copywriting in the funnel, the emails. If you have salespeople and you actually want to onboard new clients, then you have scripts for the setters and closers, etc. And then is it experiment? You just keep testing and testing and testing until it works. And then by using the data, you can make your business decisions better and stay ahead of other businesses, because it's the only smart way to actually grow is to rely on data. We did this in our own situation when we scaled Ashia from $0 to $32,000 in 2 weeks. Even though that's a short time span, 2 weeks, we actually used data to figure out what problem we were having in the midst of that 2 weeks. So the biggest problem that we seen when we launched our offer on the first day, May 16th, was the day we launched. We did $6,000 in cash collected. Now, if you look on the picture on the left, on the right here, from the 17th to the 20th, 4 days, 17, 18, 19, 20, that's 4 different days. We only made 4,000. That's less than what we made in 1 day. So there was a problem. We made $1,000 a day for 4 days in a row. So that was a huge problem that we were having. So we need to understand, okay, what's going wrong? There's something going wrong that's not getting us the results we want. Because if we kept on this track and we didn't change anything, we only would have made probably like around $15,000 to $17,000. But we ended up doing 32. And the reason why we were able to do 32 is because we used the data. When we were looking at the application data, we figured out a lot of stuff that we didn't realize before. Just for example, the first question we asked on our applications when we launched our funnel is, where do you feel most stuck in your business finances? And we assumed originally, because this was a brand new offer from scratch, we assumed that most people had issues with saving on taxes and how to avoid taxes by doing different tax saving strategies. But more than 65 of the respondents that we got cited managing cash flow as their top pain, not reducing taxes. So what did we do? We adjusted it. Everything from our funnel to our ads to our email copy, it was all changed. Instead of saying, hey, do this to save your taxes, we're launching this 5-day workshop to help you save on taxes. We said, hey, we're doing this 5-day workshop so you can manage your finances and get you to the profit that you truly want to get to. And once we made that change, we've seen a huge impact. All we did was change the copy based off the data that we've seen. So if we hadn't made those changes, we might have only made $17,000 for the whole launch. But because we listened to the data that we got, the feedback, and we ended up making 32. So the big lesson is it's super important to listen to data and implement it into your strategies. From the 20th to the 31st, which is after we made those changes, we ended up making an extra $20,000. So by the end, we had 32 in 2 weeks. So it's like, it's really important to understand this concept, because once again, your ability to track data and recycle information back to marketing and sales completely controls your ability to make more money. And once again, you do not need to spend a ton on marketing to get the results. If you have a good offer and you know you have something that people will pay for, it literally just depends on how good your creative is, because that's going to determine the scalability of it. So there's two options you can do. The first option is you can continue to stay the same. If you don't want to make more money, you're happy with where you're at, you keep doing that. You're going to keep onboarding new clients to increase your revenue. If you want to make more money, you're going to work more hours. You're either going to hire staff or not. You're going to manage that staff. You're going to stress yourself out, because managing other people is a lot more harder than the actual work that you're going to do. That's just the reality of business. And then less time with loved ones, because obviously you're working more. You're going to have less time to spend for yourself. Or you can make a change. You can work less hours. You can sell your knowledge. So things, and when I say sell your knowledge, I'm not telling you to go out and tell your clients to do their taxes by themselves, because obviously like they don't have the expertise to do that. You are the expert at the end of the day. You are going to do all the tax side. But there's a lot of things that your clients can do on their own without an accountant. You're going to make more money because of it, because you're selling the information rather than the actual work. And then you keep your firm small, and you're going to have you're going to have smaller amount of clients, meaning you're going to keep your firm as a boutique. You're going to have a smaller team, maybe have a VA from the Philippines or something. You're going to spend more time with family and friends, and you're going to travel, because now you have, you made $30,000 in 2 weeks. That's 2 months worth of income. So what you should do is, if you're interested in implementing this into your business, right, and you want to sell information and digital products like this new way of business is going in 2025, then you can book a call to learn how you can implement this and make $30,000 in 2 weeks, just like Shia, right? Without onboarding any new clients. So if you're interested in that, book a call in the description below. But other than that, peace.